and his attorney, please identify yourself for the record.
Kelly Trujillo, I'm here on behalf of Kablo Segovia, and I did have a quick house matter.
Okay, I need everyone first to finish identifying themselves for the record. Give me a moment. All right, ma'am, Ms. Seguro, please state your first and last name for the record.
Gabriella Gummy Seguro.
And Ms. Salami for the record.
Anna Salami for the Office of the Attorney General, Your Honor.
Okay, now, counsel, one moment. I want to pull my case up. Okay, lots going on. All right, they filed a protective order application on July the 10th, but it's a motion for a non-suit order for a non-suit. Okay, private counsel, I note there's an order of a non-suit for application for protective order on July the 10th, signed by the associate judge. And what's your housekeeping matter?
Once that non-suit was signed, I've even looked on the docket right now. This entire case is closed out completely, including the OAG. The status online is saying the whole case is closed out, so there are no pleadings on file, even from the state, to move forward with a hearing today. And it even states online that this hearing was canceled because the case was closed out. And that's what I had tried to talk with Ms. Salami about earlier, because we were unaware that the hearing was proceeding with today, so we weren't ready since the case has been completely dismissed.
Okay, so dismiss and non-suit, two different things. Dismissal would come from me. A non-suit would be if you're non-suiting your pleadings. Usually the protective orders is the DA's office, which is a separate prosecuting office, different from the Attorney General's office. What I see for the non-suit, although the clerk is nothing but a person inputting, so they close things in error all day, so that's not indicative that you don't have a hearing today. On July the 10th, 2024, I see that the assistant DA filed an applicant's notice of non-suit for a protective order, not the Attorney General's case, two different offices.
Yes.
So, and I'm going to double check my eyes again. The order for a non-suit specifically says for the application for protective order. That has absolutely to do nothing with the case today, which is still an active pleading and live and set for today.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. And we're
Yeah.
ready to proceed, Your Honor.
We were just confused because the online docket says the case in total is closed out. If you look at the online docket.
I did. And if you're saying that where it says close, what I'm saying is that's nothing but a clerk, a human being closing it out, which doesn't make it so. They closed it out, not paying attention that they're live active pleadings from the Attorney General's office. The non-suit has been entered, but it specifically states just for the application of protective order, that's from the DA's office. The Attorney General's pleadings are still live. So the Attorney General's office, because I want to make sure, because the state was the DA for the protective order, the state now, and technically the DA's office, that's the county, really. That's not even the state. State of Texas is moving forward or requesting to move forward on their SAPS or AOP. So and they're live and I'm ready. So what's the request today from you, Ms. Trujillo? And I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, okay?
We would just request them to only move forward on a temporary orders basis, since we were unaware that the hearing was still happening due to the online docket stating that it was canceled. So as long as it's just a temporary orders, we're ready to proceed with today's hearing.
Okay, now, have you guys already talked at all?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor, we did.
Okay, so you both are saying yes. Okay, so request from father's attorney is for it to be a temp order. Request for Ms. Salami is what?
Your Honor, we're in agreement to making this a temporary order. We already had this discussion with that's attorney in the breakout room, which I told her that we do agree, and she did agree to return date for November 1st, 2024 as for temporary order to proceed, and we're ready, Your Honor.
Okay, so temp order coming back November the 1st. Is it an agreement on temp order or is it a hearing, Ms. Salami?
Your Honor, it is in hearing. It's fully contested on all issue, and we're requesting to come back November 1st for final hearing.
Okay, so temp order would reserve any retro and court costs. So all
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. That's what we're reserving.
Okay, and counsel for the state, you're requesting how much time?
20 minutes.
Okay, and father's counsel?
20 minutes.
Okay, and so I will set this case totally for 20 minutes. All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would like to call Ms. Gomez. Ms. Gomez, can you please state your full name?
Gabriella Gummy Seguro.
Are you making a general appearance today? Are you willing to proceed with your case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the state is requesting that the record reflect that Ms. Gomez is making a general appearance and ready to proceed.
Let the record reflect that Ms. Seguro is making a general appearance and ready to proceed.
Your Honor, would like to request Ms. Gomez. Ma'am, when it comes to both you and Mr. Segovia, were you ever married to Mr. Segovia when the child was conceived or born?
No, ma'am.
Were you ever married to anybody else during the conception or birth of this child?
No, ma'am.
Is there anybody out there that could be the father of this child other than Mr. Segovia?
No, ma'am.
Can you please tell the court the name and age of the child?
Her name is Genesis Daniela Gamis, and her birth date is October 11th, 2023.
And how old is she right now?
She is 9 months.
And you're requesting that Mr. Segovia be named the legal and biological father of this child today, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you did, and Mr. Segovia also signed what we call an acknowledgement of paternity, where he acknowledged as the father of this child, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. With regards to the family violence, has there ever been any family violence between you and Mr. Segovia when it comes to yourself or the child? Ever?
Just myself.
Okay, can you briefly tell the court the most recent incident?
The recent one, it was Saturday night, which was
This Saturday, is that correct?
yes, this Saturday.
Okay. Can you briefly tell the court what happened?
He was parked outside my house waiting for me to get home. Then he started banging and kicking my front door while the baby was in the house, demanding me to go outside and talk to him.
Okay. Was there police called or is there any police incident report right now?
I called the police and I have a case number.
Okay. But as in being prosecuted, or is there an ongoing protective order or restraining order against Mr. Segovia?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And has there ever been any family violence where you laid hands on you first in the past?
Yes.
Can you briefly tell the court what happened, what date and time?
It was on May 11th,
Or what year was that?
2024.
This year, can you briefly tell the court what happened?
We went out and then he got really aggressive. He broke my phone and he shoved me and I hit my head on the window. But that was about it. And I did call the cops as soon as I got home.
Okay.
And that's when I filed for the protective order.
Which is now non-suited, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Why, do you know why it's non-suited?
I asked for it because he was saying that he couldn't see the baby because of that order.
Okay, you may proceed, Ms. Salami.
Thank you, Your Honor. And based on this incident that you just mentioned to the court, you're asking that the court find that there's been family violence between both you and Mr. Segovia, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And also because of that, you're asking to be named the sole managing conservator to make the decision for the child, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're requesting for no geographical restriction as to where you reside with the child, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Also requesting that you continue to have the exclusive right to designate the primary residence of the child, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
When was the last time Mr. Segovia saw the child?
Friday.
Where did he visit with the child?
He came and picked her up at my house.
And he picked her up. Did he bring her back the same day?
Yes, ma'am.
How long were they gone for?
I believe he picked her up around 5 and dropped her off around 8:30.
5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Is that what you're stating?
Yes, ma'am.
Has he ever had overnight visit with a child?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And are you requesting that there should be a possession and asset visitation at the Faith and Liberty Place, which is a protective setting at the Henry Hans Boulevard.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you also requesting that the visitation schedule be as decided by them based on what they have available for visitation?
Yes, ma'am.
Apart from the one child you have together, to your knowledge, does Mr. Segovia has any minor biological child or children?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And what medical insurance you have currently for the child?
I have her on Medicaid.
Are you requesting to continue the current medical insurance for as long as you're eligible for?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if Mr. Segovia is currently employed?
I believe he is.
Do you know where he's currently employed at?
No, ma'am.
Do you know how much he's currently earning at his job?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that the wage information provided to us by Mr. Segovia today is in the amount of $3,250? You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you requesting that Mr. Segovia be ordered to pay cash medical to the state of $195 monthly beginning August 1st, 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, would you be in agreement to Mr. Segovia having a 50-50 split exchange visitation?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Also, would you be in agreement to no child support to be ordered today?
No, ma'am.
You're requesting for guideline child support to be ordered today based on Mr. Segovia's income, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're requesting for that in the amount of $516 monthly beginning August 1st, 2024.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're requesting that if the court does find family violence between both of you today, that your address and information are to be disclosed on today's court order, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that the issue of retroactive support, which is retroactive child support, medical support, and dental support with court costs for today will be reserved for your final hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
And you do understand also that this is a temporary order. We're going to be coming back for your final hearing in November 1st, 2024 at 9 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that?
Yes, I understand.
Thank you. Your Honor, that'll be all for this witness.
Counsel, questions from mother?
Yes. Okay, Ms. Segura, you're claiming family violence happened this past Saturday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But you never actually saw Mr. Segovia, correct?
The cops told me not to open the
Objection,
door.
non-responsive.
Sustain.
You never actually saw Mr. Segovia outside of your house, correct?
I saw him outside my house.
But you didn't come out of the house, correct?
Mm-mm.
So you had no physical contact with him,
Wait,
correct?
1 second, ma'am. Yes or no, not and okay?
No.
Okay, go ahead, counsel.
So you had no physical contact with him, correct?
No,
Correct?
ma'am. Correct.
And in fact, Mr. Segovia left voluntarily. The police didn't order him to leave, correct?
Yes.
In fact, the police got there after Mr. Segovia already left, correct?
Correct.
So no violence occurred this past Saturday, correct?
Correct.
And the protective order was non-suited because you chose not to prosecute, correct?
Correct.
So you didn't see a need to protect you or your daughter with that protective order, correct?
Correct.
And in fact, while the protective order was in place, you were still trying to contact Mr. Segovia, correct?
For baby wise, incorrect.
And you've allowed, since the protective order was dismissed, you've allowed Mr. Segovia to see his daughter, correct?
Yes.
And all of those visits have been unsupervised, correct?
Yes.
So you weren't present during those visits, correct?
Mm-mm. No, ma'am.
Your daughter was never injured during any of those visits, correct?
No, ma'am.
So Mr. Segovia is capable of watching his daughter without being supervised, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And over the past month, you've trusted him to watch the child unsupervised, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And prior to the incident in April, you all were living together, correct?
April. No, we weren't living together anymore.
But Mr. Segovia has had overnights with his daughter, correct?
No, ma'am.
Are you stating that he has never been in the same house with his daughter overnight?
Overnight with me, yes, but overnight by himself, no.
But he's been present for overnights with you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So he's taken care of the child overnight, correct?
I took care overnight.
And then you've been able to co-parent with Mr. Segovia via text messages on setting up visits with your child, correct?
Sometimes.
And every time you've requested for the child to be brought back at a certain time, Mr. Segovia has done that, correct?
Not all the times.
Are you stating he took your child and never gave the child back?
He brought her back, not what we had agreed on.
But he always brings her back, correct?
Yes.
And the child's never injured, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've allowed him to be with the child unsupervised, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So he does not need to be supervised by a facility, correct?
No.
No further questions from mother at this time.
No, he does not need to be supervised, or he needs to be supervised. I want to make sure you understand your
he-
answer,
He doesn't need to be supervised.
Ms. Salami.
Your Honor, that'll be all for this witness. If they would like to call Mr. Segovia. So can you please state your full name? Mr. Segovia, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you please state your full name?
Kablo Segovia.
Okay. Are you the father of this child, the subject of the suit?
Yes.
And you do understand or remember that you signed an agreement of paternity that gives you legal parentage to this child?
Yes. I understand.
Okay. All right. Has there ever been any family violence between you and mom ever?
No, never.
Okay. She did mention an incident that happened on Saturday. Is that incident as she stated, or would you like to tell the court what happened on the Saturday?
I would like to tell the court what happened. I'm sorry.
Can you briefly tell the court what happened?
I guess we were both at the same concert, and I tried reaching out to her so that I can talk to her, but she never spoke to me. And I went to her house to try talking to her parents to see if my baby was there. And I knocked on the door, and then I called her dad. I actually spoke to her dad on the phone, and then I just left. But supposedly she was already in there. But I never banged on the door, nothing. I only knocked once, and then I left.
Okay. Also, she mentioned an incident back in April, I think between April and May before you got separated. And she mentioned an incident of violence that occurred between both of you. Is that as stated by Ms. Seguro or no?
No, that's not how it happened either.
Have you ever laid your hands on Ms. Segovia ever?
No, never.
Has she ever laid her hands on you?
Only once.
Okay, but you've never laid your hands on her. That's what you stated.
Never.
Has there ever been any incident that police was called apart from the Saturday incident? Ms. Seguro mentioned that she called the police. Has there ever been any incident in the past that police was called?
That day,
to your knowledge?
That day, whenever
What
the
day
first
are you
incident
referring to?
happened, the first one. Whenever she's stating that I broke her phone, I did broke her phone, but that was the only thing. And then I talked to her mom on the phone. Her mom didn't know she was with me, and I took her home that day. I only took her home and went to my house, but I never touched her or nothing.
Okay.
I never put a hand on her.
With regards to visitation,
You're saying that she actually put her hands on you first, sir?
Nah, not that day. She has hit me before
No,
only once.
not that day. But
Not that day.
another day. Are you saying she put her hands on you first?
Yeah,
And when was this? Month and year?
that was. I don't have the exact day, but that was when we were living together. We left together like for 4 months.
Okay,
And
sir, listen specifically to my question. What
Mhm.
year then? What year?
It was 2024 this year.
This year. And where
Yes.
did she put her hands? What did she do? Did she punch you? Did she slap you?
Nah,
Did what?
she slapped me.
Okay. And did you call the police on her?
Nah, I never did.
Have you ever gotten a restraining order or protective order against her?
No, nothing.
Why is she making allegations that you have put your hands on her?
I honestly don't understand.
Okay. Ms. Salami, go ahead.
thank you, Your Honor. With regards to conservatorship, mom is requesting to be the sole managing conservator to make decision for the child. Are you in agreement with that or no?
No.
Are you requesting to be named joint managing conservator to make decision together with mom? Is that what you're requesting today?
Yeah, I want
Okay.
50-50.
Or you're still requesting for a 50-50 split possession, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Regards to location of the child, mom is requesting for no geographical restriction as to where the child resides. Would you be in agreement with that or no?
Say that again, please.
Ms. Segura is requesting for no geographical restriction. That means she can reside anywhere with the child without any restriction whatsoever. Would that be something you're in agreement to or no?
Yeah, that I agree.
Okay. And also regards to visitation, you stated you want 50-50 split 50-50 split possession. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
correct.
that's correct. We have on this case that we have just one child. Do you have any other minor biological child or children?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you currently employed, sir?
Yes.
Where are you currently employed at?
In a commercial company.
And how much are you currently handing at this job?
I get paid by day. I get paid $150
Okay.
a day.
And based, would it be right to say that your gross income based on that information is $3,250?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand that currently your child has the state medical insurance? You understand that?
Yes.
Would you be in agreement to pay cash medical to the state of $195 monthly beginning August 1st, 2024?
Yes, I agree.
Also, mom is requesting for a guideline child support based on your income of $516 monthly beginning August 1st, 2024. Do you agree to that? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. You requesting for a $0 child support today, is that correct?
Excuse me?
You're requesting for a $0 child support today, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. If your address, phone number be placed on today's court order, would it cause you any harm or safety concern?
No.
Okay. And you understand that this is a temporary order?
Yes, I understand.
And that would be requested to come back in November 1st, 2024. You understand that?
Yes, I understand.
That the issues of retroactive support and court costs will be reserved for your final hearing. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And the hearing will be via Zoom. That'll be all for this witness, Your Honor.
Counsel.
Okay, Mr. Segovia, I want to go back to the geographic restriction. Are you wanting mother to have to remain in Dallas County and the contiguous counties? That way your daughter remains close to you?
Yeah, Dallas County.
So you want there to be a geographic restriction where
Yeah.
mother. And then when was the most recent time you saw your daughter?
On Friday.
Were you supervised?
I was with my mom, with my family.
But you picked up your daughter on your own from mother's
Yeah,
house?
I think, yeah.
And how many
I
times have you seen her this past week?
Like 3 times.
So whenever you're not
6
working
times.
during the week, mother's in
I
agreement
go,
to pick up your daughter?
I go get her. Yeah. I even went to see her at work with my baby. Whenever.
Mr. Segovia, make sure you wait until I finish my question before you answer, okay?
Okay. Yes, my bad.
And so for the past month, you've been able to co-parent with mother on seeing your child during the week and on weekends?
Yes.
And there's been no issue with you picking up the child directly from mother's house?
No issue at all.
Now, if mother wants to have visit or exchanges at a neutral location like a police station, would you be in agreement with that?
Yes, I will be.
And mother was the one that filed that protective order against you,
Yes.
but was that dismissed because mother no longer wanted to prosecute?
Yeah, that was dismissed. She told me she was gonna take it off.
And in fact, was mother trying to reach out to you when the protective order was in place?
Yes, she did.
And prior to the incident in April, were you and mother living together?
We have like a week that we were not living together no more.
But in 2024, were you all living together?
Yes, like for 4 months.
And during that time, you would be with your daughter?
Yes.
So you've had your daughter overnight?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you capable to have overnights with your daughter moving forward?
Yes.
And are you requesting for a 50-50 possession schedule?
Yes.
Are you wanting it to be a 2-2-3? So 2 days with you, 2 days with mom, and then 3 days?
Yeah.
And that way the child can be with both of you since she's really young?
Mm-hmm.
And are you also requesting for no child support if there's a 50-50 possession schedule?
Yes, that's correct.
And how far away do you live from mother's house?
I live 12 minutes away from her.
So you and mother are within 5 miles from each other?
Yeah.
And you stated mother hit you previously?
Yeah, when we were living together.
Was your daughter present when she hit you?
Yeah, she was.
So your daughter was in the room when Ms. Segura hit you?
Yeah.
Where was
Yes,
your
ma'am.
daughter?
She was in her bed sleeping.
That's time, but I'm gonna let you continue. Go ahead, counsel. I'll give you a few more minutes to finish. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Where was your daughter when she hit you?
She was in the bed sleeping already.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Ma'am, have you ever put your hands on him first? He's alleging that you've hit him first.
Yeah. Yeah, I slapped him.
Okay. This is my ruling on a temporary basis. Mutual family violence, mutual non-disclosure findings. Because of that, it cannot be joint managing conservatorship. It has to be sole managing conservatorship. Mother decides where the child resides, lives, and father will have visitation and be the possessory. There'll be no geographical restriction. This is the visitation schedule on a temporary basis that can be revisited when we come back. First, third, and fifth, Saturdays and Sundays, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. unsupervised. And the exchange location will be the police station Googled off of mother's address. Also, medical 195, child support 516, all beginning August 1st, 2024. Retroactive support and court costs reserved until final. I want to admonish both of you. You both need to have a reset button. Do not go to each other's house.
Mm-hmm.
Do not send relatives to each other's house. You need to drop off and pick up the baby. You need to work for the best interest of the child. You need to keep your hands to yourself before it escalates even further. Anyone who hits either party should be reported to the police, and you should be seeking restraining orders and protective orders. That is inappropriate behavior. That's not how to get along in this world. You should not be doing that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, Ms. Salami, is there anything else you need for your temp orders?
Yes, Your Honor, I just want to clarify. You said first, third, and fifth Saturdays. The Saturdays only, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. unsupervised.
12 to 6 p.m. first, third, and fifth Saturdays and Sundays.
Sundays.
Supervised. No overnight visits at this time. Visitation can be revisited when we come back. We'll see how visitation has been going when we return.
Regards to child support and medical support would it be 195 and 516?
All of what you requested.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. Oh, gotcha. Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else?
That'll be all, Your Honor.
Okay. You will receive a copy of the order via your emails today. And Father's Counsel, anything else?
Can I just confirm what time the hearing's at on November 1st?
Check-in is always 9 a.m. and then they will have to assign you to one of the attorneys. So 9 a.m. on November 1st, and that will be in the order as well.
Perfect. And the Zoom information will be included in the order?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, the parties are free to go. You had a question, ma'am?
Well, I just need to update my email.
Okay, then you need to provide that to Miss Salami. You can probably rejoin the breakout room and she'll give you that and you can give her that information. Tap on your room. And counsel are free to go. Have a good day.